Hey friends, it's Kaylee. So this week we are talking about our kids and the summertime and what we do to keep them entertained and how we try to keep our sanity. So we hope that you listen and give us your feedback on what you do to keep yourself sane in the summer and keep your kids entertained. We'd love to hear from you.
Welcome to Messy Christian Mamas. We are three Christian moms with a progressive mindset and loving hearts and minds. We are imperfect humans, but we're all loved in God's sight. At some point, we've all felt like the church and Christianity may not have been for us, but God isn't looking for perfection. He's just looking for you.
We are not experts in Christian theology, and we do not represent any particular Christian faith or church. We are simply here to be authentic, and we hope you join us on this journey.
Welcome, everybody. We are here for Messy Christian Mamas today to talk about the summer and dealing with your children. Seriously, more than ever. I'm pretty. My life hasn't changed a lot because we do homeschool my daughter, so she's around just as much as she usually is. She just doesn't have as much school time, so it's more unstructured time, which is not fantastic all the time. Would love for there to be a little more structured time in her day, probably, and I am responsible for that, and I have not done a lot to fix it. So,
don't you hate that there's like no one else to blame? It's all on me.
My teacher friends share memes all the time, and the memes they're sharing right now are like, "Oh, the kids are with their parents."
I know, right?
Laughing. But I am.
But I am a parent. Yeah.
There's no escape.
Right. Yeah, for real. So, how excited were you two for the summer in the spring?
Not at all.
You weren't?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was, because again, I'm a teacher,
Right.
So yeah, I love the summer.
Yeah.
With pools and popsicles and
Right.
yeah.
Outside time.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Lots of outside time.
No. Because we have such a solid routine during the school year. Even though we have so much stuff going on, it's the same every week.
Yeah.
So we have a very structured routine where in the summer that all goes to hell. And so it's
And you knew that the ticking clock was coming your way.
She's like, only 3 more weeks of school left, and I'm like, crap.
The lack of routine is very draining, especially my 3-year-old and 4-year-old. They're just that age where they're testing their independence and just real hyper, and the routine settles that down, I think.
Yeah.
And so not having that, it's just a lot.
Yeah. I think in the spring I was kind of indifferent to the summer. I've been teaching preschool, so I didn't have that on my plate anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that it was going to change all that much. I feel like, I don't know, this summer, it's just, I keep looking at my kid you need something to do.
Although, saying that, this is something that I'm struggling with because I overschedule Charlotte during the summer because she's an only child and she's such a social kid. I feel like she constantly needs something to do. But I feel like I've kind of done a self-fulfilling prophecy with that to now she just expects to have something to do. And I really need her to be bored. I really think boredom, this is where I was saying the Brene Brown thing comes into play. Brene Brown has this whole thing about boredom being a good thing and that kids need to learn how to be bored. And that doesn't mean just zoning out in front of a television or their tablet, but out of boredom comes creativity, comes innovation, comes entrepreneurship, comes all of these things. And kids don't know how to be bored now.
Imagination comes up.
Too. I just was thinking about how phones, we're always scrolling on our phone. And it seems like it's mindless, but really actually it's just stimulation all the time.
Yeah.
Your brain's just really being stimulated. And so we are not used to being bored anymore either.
Yeah. I think it's one of these things where we're so quick to fill their time. So if they turn around and say, I'm bored, the whining is going to start next. So you're just oh my God, let me find something for them to do. So okay, just go watch your tablet or go watch a movie or, do this. Whereas when we were growing up, we turned around and said, we're bored. I mean, my mom was the first one to be like, that's
Go
worse.
outside.
Yeah, you go outside.
Oh yeah, my
You
child
got
does
doors?
better. She doesn't tell me she's bored because first thing we say is, "Hopefully not."
And I'm like, my kid's such a creative kid that I'm like, you need to figure out something. So like the other day, we didn't have anything planned for her. I said, we figure it out. I said, and it's also hard because we live with my parents, so it's also one of these things where I'm like, I don't, sometimes boredom leads to mess and like innovation, quote unquote, but like it's like messy.
That's the zone that my child lives in.
So I'm just kind of like, don't be creative within limits.
And like mine, it leads to like bickering and arguing and just getting on each other's nerves on purpose because that's more interesting than being bored.
Yeah. Well, I just like look at it like Charlie's like because I was trying to think about like the huge difference, and the huge difference is I had siblings, and I had a home I grew up in a home daycare basically, so I always had people to play with, whereas Charlotte doesn't. So like I'm constantly, but she is an extroverted, like hugely extroverted, young, yellow personality, social kid. So I need I understand she needs to be around people because that's what she's comfortable with. And so I plan all these things, I sign her up for all these things so that she can be, exposed in these type, and get the stimulation. But there is a part of me where I'm like, you're going to have to learn to just be by yourself and just, this is exhausting. Like, I'm going to need you to just be bored for like a day.
I do try to keep the less screens though, even in the summer though, even though it's kind of like the go-to make life easier, but I try to they only have the iPad on Thursdays. We have one TV and we watch TV together,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are some times I'm just like, okay, let's grab the tablet.
Seriously.
I know it's okay. So I have a little trouble with the screen thing because Olivia writes so much. And that's that's her biggest outlet, I would say, is that she writes and she uses her laptop to write with.
She read one of her stories to us, on a golf cart ride and then also a car ride later on, and we were all enthralled. We were all like, you have to read the next time you're with us. You know the rest of it.
Next chapter, you put it on a cliffhanger now.
Right?
She has always, since she was 2 years old, she would be playing with figurines and just creating these really immersive worlds around them. And just
really
continued
cool.
to do that. Now she writes it. So I think
That's
cool.
amazing.
Her imagination is just insane.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that she's an only child and homeschooled. So the fact that she has this Tolkien-like ability to create these worlds in her head is just incredible.
She is pretty spectacular.
Charlie recreates scenes that she has done since she was 2. There's a really she was probably 3 or 4. And it was when the new Beauty and the Beast came out. And she came up. She was not a cuddly child. And she came up to me and hugged me. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's being so sweet. And then she shoved me away, going, don't worry, I'll escape. And she was recreating the scene where Belle and her dad in the shower. And I literally was just 3 years old and this cute little, and she's wearing the Belle dress and this cute little 3-year-old voice. And I'm just like,
Oh,
are you serious? So heartbroken.
that's
But
what
yeah,
Anne
so
right
that's
now.
what
She gets any
recreates
floating
everything.
thing. She's Elsa running around with a cape behind her.
The queen. Shocking.
Liv and I were just talking about it.
She's
so stinking cute.
She's cute like a little alley cat.
She really is. She's so sad.
She's like a little alley kitten. She's so cute. But you don't want if you pet her, you're risking your life. She's adorable. I love her so much.
Probably all of our kids, but my kids are so headstrong, and they got that from me, and they got it from their dad.
Yeah.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's as a parent, it's so hard to deal with. I was
I need you to stop being me for a second because I know how this ends.
Right.
It's not going to end well.
Are they all negotiators? Are all 4 of your kids negotiators?
Yes, and that's one of the things that's driving me crazy.
Like, this is not a negotiation. You have no leverage. The criminal doesn't get to go to the judge and be like, I don't agree with the sentence you just gave me. How about we negotiate. No, the judge gives the ruling,
Right.
and that's it. I'm your judge, jury, and executioner. You do not negotiate.
But
with
somehow,
me.
like, as a teacher, I have no problem with this. As a teacher, I'm like, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
yeah.
But like, as a parent, I give in sometimes. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have such a hard time.
I think it's just they know the buttons
Or things that I might
that
want to do.
trigger.
They're like,
exactly.
can I have a popsicle? Mommy, don't you want a popsicle? I'm like,
Ooh,
yes, I do want a popsicle.
that's sneaky. Charlotte does not. I wish she did that. That'd be great. Because Charlotte's like, I'm gonna use the voice that I know you find the most annoying, and I'm going to like be the most dramatic version of myself, so that you just give in, so you don't have to deal with this. And I'm like, I've had to like train myself to not be triggered by it, and just to be like, stay strong, Kaylee, stay strong. She's doing it on purpose. She's doing it because as soon as you give in, the tears are gonna stop, and she's gonna be completely fine, and she's gonna skip off into the sunset.
So it's like a whiny voice.
Oh my gosh. It's just this whole like, well, why? I don't understand. And like the rolling of the eyes and like the constant wanting to get the last word. The last word, the contest to get the last word
Right.
is just.
We have a way of dealing with that in our house. Stop talking now.
I do that too. And she just continues to go. And I'm like, I literally told her this morning, like we got into this massive argument this morning before I left for work. And I had just asked her to do something that she had created. Like, we did a routine for the summer, and I'm like, I need you to do this. She's like, why? And like rolls her eyes, and I was like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm having to go to work after a week of vacation. Like, I know the shitstorm that I'm about to walk into. So, like, don't try me, child. And so she's just like, why? And I was like, because you need to have some routine. Like, you just need to. It's take an hour and a half of your life, Charlotte Grace. Like, that's all you need to do. And she's like, I just don't understand. I'm like, stop talking. And my mom is sitting right there. And my mom turned around and was like, Charlotte, your mom's about to leave for work. So she's not going to be here. So all you needed to say to her was like, okay, Mom. And she would have no idea if it had taken you an hour or 4 hours, because she's not going to be here. You arguing with her is just means you're going to check in every 20 minutes, which is exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And so my mom's looking at her like, common sense. Just be like, yeah, sure. Okay, Mom.
I feel like she needs to watch Little House on the Prairie and like recreate those scenes. Like the girls on the farm and all their chores.
I get very close to being like, what is a 9-year-old version of Scared Straight? Because there are times where I'm like,
we need that show.
Right?
We need that show. Somebody get on that.
I don't want to send her to like prison. But this is like one of the reasons
No,
why
I just want her to see a cautionary tale. I just want her to
prison. Because like she's too young for my cautionary tale. So like I can't tell her, but the thing is that like my parents have turned around to her and been like, your mom was the exact same way when she was your age. She was argumentative and needed to have the last word and very headstrong and very stubborn. But what would happen to her is that she would get grounded. Like, so when I got grounded to my room. All my books were taken away. So I had nothing to read. I had no radio. I literally had to sit in my room. Or I had to go play with my sisters. Like, that was my punishment, was having to play Barbies with my sisters. Because I couldn't stand, like, I didn't want to do it. And so my dad was like, or she got soap in her mouth, or she got popped. Because in the 90s, you could put soap in the mouth and get popped. And I'm like, do you understand? I had a preference for soap color. The Yellow Dawn was my favorite because it did taste slightly like lemons. I mean, you have no idea how good you have it. No idea. I was like, you don't get popped. You don't get a spoon. You don't get soap in the mouth. You don't really even get grounded because, like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not there. So I can't even really ground you.
The attitude and stuff like they're about to be teenagers. I think I'm going to start reading some books about, like...
No, I'm already looking into boarding schools. Are you kidding me? I'm like, affordable boarding schools.
Yeah, I started researching. I was like, how do you keep relationships strong for the teenage years?
Yeah. This is the difference in parenting. They're like, I want to fix this. And I'm like, I want to get rid of it. I'm like, I'm a family in England. They'll take her.
Well, I love the idea of this TV show, though. I'll come back to that for a second. Only because there are such bad examples on TV for how bad behavior is rewarded.
Yeah.
Any of the live action
Yeah.
series.
Have you
for
banned
teen
any?
girls.
Have you banned any shows? Like we've banned, like probably good 5 shows.
Well,
No.
we just don't. She's not allowed to watch most live action shows that feature kids because it just rewards bad behavior left and right. That's all it
The
does.
sassiness
yeah.
and this entitlement.
Yeah.
That's like supposed to be funny.
Well, it's like, well, my dad banned a lot of them because in his and he's right about it. Like the dad is always this like goofball like extra character that's like basically just comic relief, and he's like
just an idiot.
That's not
dad moron.
Well, for most of us, that's not. So. But then he's like his argument with Charlotte for a lot of, because she's a theater kid and she was watching a lot of these shows, was like, you are not this is not the Charlie show. Like you are not the star of this show. We are not your backup crew. Like we're not like your like the side characters where like the spotlight's on you and all the little applause track is going to you, and we're just bumbling around in the background. You are part of an ensemble cast. Like you have to learn that you have to work with your team. You are not Taylor Swift. You are not.
I just remembered the show that we did have to ban, Sister.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it got bad. Same thing. Like you're not one of the sisters. You are.
We had to have ban Funked. That was when we had to ban.
Okay.
I just had to ban High School Musical, the series. Not so much because of behavior, but it was very much like becoming this like, main character, wanted this main character energy, and I was like, honey, you're 9 years old. Like you have not paid your dues. I'm sorry, you do not get to be the lead of the show. If anything, it's your grandfather because we don't pay rent. Like he gets
he's the main character in my life.
He used to be main character
Right.
of everything. So, and it's like it's one of these things where I'm constantly just being like, I just need her. This was why I wanted to do a lot of like volunteer work this summer and like take her to places. I didn't want to necessarily shove in her face like you have it so much better than other people, but kind of shove her face in the fact that you have so much privilege, child. Like you have no idea how much privilege you actually have, and just to understand like to be grateful. Like it's just this like this attitude of disgratitude that like I feel a lot of kids.
We live in a tricky community for that.
Yeah,
I was about to say I feel like it's worse like in certain places like where you live, and where we live there's a sort of like materialism here that's just out of control.
It's an entitlement. Like, what do you mean I can't have it?
Yeah.
Like, because you don't get to go like this and just it be handed to you. You actually have to work for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so tricky. It's so tricky. I feel like even the cautionary tales anymore that we see on TV or in real life, they're still sometimes rewarded. Like you remember the Cash Me Outside girl? Now she has like a huge rap career, right? So it's tricky.
That's
some influencers. Actually,
that's
no
a pop culture reference, and I was just like, got nothing. Got nothing. Have no idea.
Dr. Phil. It was a Dr. Phil.
Anyway, well, you look at Teen Mom. Like Teen Mom's supposed to be a cautionary tale about teenage pregnancy, and like all these girls went on to have multiple children, and these they made a living off of it. I'm like, that's what that was supposed to be about. Like, that was supposed to be like, hey, don't get pregnant at 16.
This makes for a harder life.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, does it?
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it does.
Now they're all lifestyle brands.
I'm just like, ooh, and it's. Everything's shiny on social media. Everything's shiny. Like everything on Disney and Nickelodeon, it's all shiny. This is like the one reason why I love that show. I love that show, Kate and Alexis, because
I'm glad you recommended it. And Charlotte recommended it to Olivia. She loves it.
It's such a great show because I believe it's a Disney show. It might be a Nickelodeon show.
Netflix, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, and that is Netflix. Yeah, it's a Netflix show, and the main character, she's a teenager. She gets cancer, and her best friend. It's like how she is going through high school with cancer and how her best friend is supporting her. But her best friend also has major anxiety issues and actually has a panic attack on, like, in one of the episodes, had like a major panic attack and talks through like how to handle a panic attack.
But
And
it's a sitcom. It's not like
yeah,
couched in like this heavy drama.
For
Right?
kids who don't
really
have access to
Cool.
those tools and are getting most of their life advice from these types of shows. And
Kelly
everything.
Kapowski is the mom.
Yeah, which, come on, right there. Right there you have me. Anything Kelly Kapowski's in, I'm going to be like, this is great. This is great television. Even though I look back and now at like Saved by the Bell and 90210, I'm like, those were great shows for me to be watching, but that goes back to that body image issue.
Rod's tactic with all the TV shows is just to troll how bad they are anytime she's around so that she'll stop watching them. Which is also not fantastic.
No.
He's like, woo, this acting. You like this? Huh. I thought you had better taste.
Well, because our daughters are getting to this like age where it's like, oh my god, I don't like it. I'm just gonna watch it more and be like, crap. I have found that if I really enjoy something, Charlie doesn't want to watch it. So like that's been kind of my like issue. But now she has the 3-year-old. Like now we have Leland and everything. So she's been watching like Bluey and Spidey and Friends and everything like that. So I'm like, so she is getting kind of a better. She does get better exposure, I guess, to some things. But she wants to watch a lot of these shows that I'm like, these aren't geared towards 9. This isn't. I know that it says it's being geared toward a 9-year-old. But really not. They're being geared more to like this middle school, high school stuff. Like, you're not.
I would
dealing
love
with
if
these
anybody
issues.
has recommendations for good podcasts for kids too. I would love.
Oh, we are a podcast family. We listen to podcasts all the time. That was the greatest thing we felt like. Spotify Premium saved my life because we listened to so many of them, and that's how Charlie falls asleep.
My sister's got a good one. It's called "Are You For Real?"
It's a science one.
It's a science one.
So cute. Yeah, probably listen to that.
What do y'all do to stay sane in the summer with your kids?
Healthy
Tips and
ways
tricks?
or unhealthy ways?
Healthy ways. I feel like I learned some things during the pandemic, like scavenger hunts. Like go and find go and find me 3 different color leaves, bring them back.
That's cute.
All right, now find me 3 different sizes of rocks and bring them back.
We have a pool, so I just dump her in there.
The pool, yeah.
She's just so creative, so she does a lot of craft time. And you've seen the big rainbow craft cabinet that we have probably in our dining room.
Yeah. See, crafts with me, I'm like,
I know. It's
all those
weird.
kids with
Yeah,
JJ
she's
and
very
Leanne.
minimalist too. So
Once they're like a little bit older, but like crafts have to be supervised.
Sure.
I have like a whole basket full of stuff that like I put up like on the highest shelf when they come in. That's actually like adult supervised.
Mom and Dad just texted me that they finally were able to pick her up. They've been in line for 45 minutes.
Oh wow!
So talking about keeping healthy ways that I keep my child busy in the summer is I sign her up for 7 different VBS programs.
Right.
She's a very well-rounded Christian at the end of the summer.
Nice.
So she had a VBS tonight that she's being a part
I
of.
have a follow-up question for that. How do you then make sure that you're not exposing her to some really damaging doctrine?
It's been trial and error. So there are some churches that I just know from growing. I've lived in this county for 30 years. So there are just some churches I know that just don't have the same doctrine. I think a lot for their children's program, a lot of it is like boxed curriculum there's 2 companies that put out VBS curriculum, and you can just drive around the county and see that it's being used in multiple churches.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So right now there's 2 main programs, and I think out of the 7 VBSs Charlie's going to, 2 of them are using one program and 2 of them are using the other, and then 3 are independent. So she'll learn all the songs. So I think it's just and you can look up that curriculum ahead of time. And most of these churches, especially these very, very large churches that like the one she's going to this week at night, is a very large. There's hundreds of kids going to this VBS. They don't have time to really do indoctrination. I feel like, especially the elementary kids, I feel like it's a little bit safer to send her to these. There have been a couple. She's been going to them for about 4 years now. There have been a couple that we don't go back to because she had a bad experience with a teacher in them. not so much the church as a whole,
Sure.
but just some things that she's come home with, and she said to me, I'm like, no, that's not really what good. But it's not really a reflection of that church as a whole. It might have just been a personal opinion. So we just kind of, and it's a week, and it's 3 hours a day. So my whole thing with like VBS programs, if my child's going to be easily indoctrinated with only 15 hours of exposure, then there's more issues that we need to discuss.
Oh, that's a really good perspective.
With my child. Like if she's easily influenced over only 15 hours a day versus, 365 days out of the year that, she's being exposed to what I'm teaching her, then there's other issues that we need to be looking at. Charlie is someone who's not very easily influenced. She's not someone who, if you come to her and it's something that she doesn't believe in, she's very quick to be like, I don't believe that. Or she'll come home and be like, they said this. And that's a learner behavior from a couple of years ago when we had a big incident with a club that was at her school. And she got very upset about something they said, came home and told me. And I was like, that's absolutely not true. So she has just learned to take everything with a grain of salt now. And just kind of like, discuss it with me or discuss it with her, with her grandfather and say like, what do we think about this? Like, what do we feel about this? But I also want her to be able to have her own opinion. I don't want her to necessarily have the same views as I do or the same.
Yeah, that to be the default.
I want her to be able to come because what she believes at 38. I don't think it's going to be the exact same as what I believe at 38. She's going to have a completely different life experience. She's a biracial child, so she's going to have a completely different identity experience than I had. So I want her to be able to discern on her own what is right and what is wrong. And, I've been working every single day for 9 years to set her up for success. So I don't think 15 hours of exposure is gonna crumble that wall. And if it did, then I didn't do a very good job of laying that foundation. So, but there are some churches like in the area that I just know are blatantly not what I believe. So we just don't sign up for those. Even if they are convenient.
Yeah. When I was married, I would be the one who set the kids for camps, and they would usually go like week on, week off. We would do like an art camp, a dance camp, like a Glenlock camp. But this year, because I only see the kids every other week, I kind of made a conscious decision that like I want to have all that quality time that I can, But it's difficult.
I'm sure. Yeah. But you're so good, I feel like, with organized activities with your kids. Is that
I like to go places. I guess so.
Yeah.
Macaroni Kid, man. If you're a parent and not using Macaroni Kid, you really need to be, because it's nationwide. It has an event. They have guides on there about what to do in the summer, like parks in the area, splash pads in the area, quick day trips that you can take in the area. It has an event calendar, so you have to see everything that the libraries are doing, like every single day. That has been like a godsend for, especially being a single parent with a single child. Like it's been such a great resource.
Okay, random question: is geocaching still a thing?
We are doing it for our VBS. Our VBS is built around geocaching. I won't give it away because some of the kids that go to VBS might listen to this. The guys were geocaching, FYI. I don't know. Like it's something I need to look into because I think especially our kids.
It's a good way to eat up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Use their brains.
Mm-hmm.
I like those. I want to start getting those escape room kits that you in the box. Like you can get them to subscribe to them.
Oh, okay.
They're like kid escape rooms, and they have
those science ones have been great.
Yeah.
That's been super fun. We did that one like at church that one day with the balloons, and then we did like a bubble one at home. What's that called? It's called
that balloon one.
Passport.
That balloon one was so fun.
Yeah.
JJ was having so much fun shooting the rocket down the hallway at the church. It was great.
Yeah.
I kept telling him, "Go run and go get it."
So, what are there any new activities that you guys have discovered this summer with your kids?
I want to take my kids to go play frisbee golf. We saw Brad and Olivia playing frisbee golf one day, and I was like, we should totally go play frisbee golf one day.
We have a really awesome Cochrane Mill. It's not that far from here, and they have quite a few waterfalls, like a hike that goes through quite a few waterfalls, and there's a couple of them that you can actually swim. Again, that have swimming pools. So we're trying to find an available weekend that we can go. We can go do that. We did it once last year, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, we got a puppy a few months ago,
There you go.
that's been a big activity for all of us.
Daily.
Yeah.
We do the splash. We've done the splash pad
Yeah.
a couple times, and we'll probably do that more during the summer. We have an awesome splash pad. Those who don't live in Fayette County, we have an awesome splash pad that they just opened in Fayetteville. That's right by the Lime Creek Brewery.
Yeah.
So the moms can get a beer, and the kids can go play. It's great.
I went to the Trilith one the other day. Got ice cream. Like, that was really fun.
That is a fun one.
Yeah.
This is a
Been
fountain.
there.
You haven't been to Trilith? What?
It's beautiful.
All right, we're going to go right after this.
It's a great place
Go to bed.
It's a great place to like walk around.
Yeah.
They have the gelato there, so their bakery that they have there is really good. Yeah. It's a fun. We've walked that like quite a few times. It's really weird. We have like we're so lucky though. Like in this area, there's so much to do for kids in this area. I do feel like the parents that live in a little bit more rural areas, they definitely have to be more creative. I feel like that is very much like just go outside and figure it out. Like
Yeah. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of like go outside and play.
I also like printable things, which Macaroni Kid I think is great for too.
mm-hmm.
They do fun printables. Like for Father's Day, they had dad libs instead of mad libs.
That's cute.
So she printed one out for every hour on the hour to recite to him for like 6 hours straight.
I'm sure Brad really
He
loved that.
was waiting with bated breath.
That's funny.
Brad is the most, like, I love Brad. He's such a great dad, but like he's such a dry humor that I'm sure he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
so
we're doing
funny.
this again? Great, awesome. Can't.
Right.
How many more do we have?
Right. Oh, we do Jamie golf cart rides. So we like we have like
that's
dinner
cute.
and like get everything done, put your Jamie's on, then we like go around the golf cart and then it's usually home.
That's a great idea. I love that.
We do a lot of things that we did growing up. Like we did catch the fireflies.
Yeah.
Everything in the mason jar with the holes put in so you don't kill them.
Yeah.
Because my parents live on a corner lot, and so we have quite a bit of land, and so it's very easy to just tell Charlie, like, go outside. We have a playground up there. She created her own playhouse up there. We have the pool. Just go outside. Like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
I did. Made
Right.
mud pies.
Right.
Daisy chains.
We've got a creek down the road too, and they call it the island. I know Olivia keeps asking, like, we're going to the island today. Like, so haven't been there yet. Go and play on the island. That's scary.
You'll never see her again.
Yeah, well,
Do you guys so what is your favorite activity to do with your kids in the summer?
Oh, I think splash pad.
Yeah.
Splash pad and popsicles.
I would say probably like ice cream, a little ice cream trip. Ooh, there's a new Italian ice place that's opening up by
Ooh.
Publix.
Oh,
You
cool.
guys.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? And they do like ice cream and Italian ice together.
We have that snow cone place in Fayetteville, Pelicans, which is
Oh yeah.
awesome. So good.
So that's fun.
I like pool. We've gotten out of the watch me phase, which is so nice.
I wish
Oh
we
my
had a pool.
God.
I would
I was so happy when we got out of the watch me phase because it's been recent that we got out of it. Now she's quite content to just like make up her own little stories and like her own little drama series in the pool. And she doesn't like when I'm out there because I disturb the scene. Because the entire pool is her stage, and so when I get in there, she's like, "Now you're in stage left, and I can't be in stage left." I'm like, "Well, push me to stage right then, because I'm just staying here." So, but God, that watch me phase.
I have
kids,
three that are solid.
Oh,
Watch me
my
phase.
gosh.
Watch me. I'm like, oh, you jumped off
So
the ground. Great job, D.
Leland's just started to get into it. So we were just in Florida, and so It was quite a few pools, and he was just getting into the he watch me, and he'd just jump in and be like, "Yay, this is great! Watch me do different and same jump." And you're just like, "Cool, dude,
Yeah.
awesome." And then they like want to be caught and they want to be thrown. Like that age is just like Charlie's obviously not in that age anymore. So I'm like, thank God, that's fun. Get my arm workout for the.
I think a lot of what we wind up doing too, because we live in Georgia and it's hot as hell in Georgia.
It really is
It's
so hot.
It is so hot.
Yeah.
So because we don't have a pool, we don't spend a lot of time outside of being there with puppy. So there's plenty of time that we spend out there with the dog. But other than that, we're inside in the air conditioning as much as possible. But we'll do we like to do watch parties with popcorn, and we have all these different popcorn seasonings that we use. Or we'll do we love to watch The Chosen together, as Kaylee knows well from being my daughter's Sunday school teacher.
Everything I know from The Chosen is because of Olivia. I'm only on episode 5 of The Chosen. However, I know everything that happens in 2 and 3. Olivia's filled me in. That, and I read the Bible, so I do know. I know how it ends.
Know what's coming, right?
I know what's coming, but the nuances. I got
we have such a great conversation around it, and I love to see how engaged she gets with it. So that's really
that is
fun.
something that I want. I really her and my dad. Charlie and my dad have shows and things. They watch all the Star Wars shows together. So they have shows that they really watch.
Watching Andor for
and they watch. They watch. She's really into the British soaps with my mom.
That's
so
great.
my mom gets all of her soaps that have been on for 60 years.
Hilarious.
She gets them all on BritBox, and so Charlie, when she was 2, knew all the theme songs to the soaps. Leland knows all the theme songs. If you ask him, what is Nanny watching? He'll go. It's so funny. We were like, Mom, you're not hiding anything from us. So, but she gets really into them with my mom. So she watches soaps with my mom. We don't really have a show that we watch together. So we watch Alexis and Katie together. But I really do need to watch, sit down and watch The Chosen with her, and she really enjoys it, and it's just a fun time.
We have 4 movies we watch together: Frozen 1, Frozen 2,
Oh.
Trolls, and Curious George the movie. And that's a every morning thing.
Wow.
One of those. And then I watch the Bears. Started watching that. Yeah, we just started watching it.
We were big My Little Pony people. My dad was really into My Little Pony. Pinkie Pie was his favorite. Pinkie Pie was his favorite. I remember coming home once, because I was a waitress. I remember coming home once from a lunch shift, and My Little Pony was on, and I came in, and my dad was sitting there watching it very intently, and I said, "Dad, where's Charlotte Grace?" And she's 4, and he just looked around, and he was like, "Oh," and Charlie comes out of the playroom. She's like, "Hey, Mom," just "How long have you been watching My Little Pony without my daughter in the room?" It's so good. It's so good.
Bluey's like that.
Bluey is great.
I love Bluey.
Yeah.
The last couple of episodes too have been really emotionally wrenching, and I'm just I can't watch them without crying. I watching it. I'm oh my God.
They're such good parents.
They're realistic parents. Because I think that's a big problem I have with kids TV, is that the parents aren't realistic, and Bluey's mom is just kind of go away. There's some points where she's okay, bye. She's I need a moment. I need a break. I'm yes, feel you. I can feel you.
Music is another thing we really bond together on, but that's year round. It's not just for the summer. So because I do music at the preschool, and I have my music classes now, so I'm always into kids.
I love how she
comes
comes at the preschool too.
Yes, she
I
does.
think that's such an awesome exposure.
She
for her.
loves those kids, and she even helps me with my kids' music classes now too. So she's my one of my 2 to 3 year old students in that class. She loves Olivia. Olivia was in the camp last week. Was that just last week?
No, week before.
Okay, week before. This little girl was beside herself. Where's Olivia? She's like, where's Olivia? Where's Olivia? Okay, but where's Olivia?
I can't pull her from camp. I paid for this. So
So
Right.
I had to have her record a video
Oh my
next
God,
class to
so
tell her,
cute.
I'm sorry, I really miss you. I'm sorry I won't get to see you today, but I'll be there next week.
Leland does the
man.
same thing if Charlie's not, because he knows Charlie's not in school.
Yep.
So if my mom has him and she's at camp or she's at BBS or something like that, and he walks in the house and she's not there, he's like, "What is this? This is unacceptable." Like, it's just such like a little tyrant. Like, he's just like, Kiki, where's Charlie? She's at camp, buddy. Like, why? Well, because she needs to be around other kids.
Yeah.
I had a kid. Why is she not here? I'm like, oh my God. And like she would make him, like, last week on vacation, she would like make the little friends that you always make on vacation. So she's like making these little friends at the pool. And we're at the pool and he was sitting on the side of the pool pouting and he's cutest pop face ever. I said, "Buddy, what's up? Like, what's wrong?" He goes, "Charlie not playing with me." And Charlie's like right there. She goes, "I didn't say I wouldn't play with you. I'm just saying I was gonna go say hello to this person." Whatever.
Aww.
You not play with me. Kiki gonna play with me instead. Like looking at Charlie, like Kiki gonna play with me instead, like nodding his little head. And I'm like, "Oh, I am? Okay. What's good, buddy? What do you want to play?"
Talking about music, Addie has practiced piano, I think, more last week than she did like the entire year. Like she was practicing like 3 times a day. And then Sophie started like singing along with it. It was the sweetest
Oh my
thing.
gosh.
I love that.
So sweet.
It's adorable.
I love that. We should really do like dance parties with our girls or something.
Yeah.
We do dance parties all the time. If we pull into the driveway and there's a song on that we like, we will purposely, because I don't have a radio in my car, I have a speaker, so we will purposely like turn it all the way up and dance in the driveway, or I'll throw it to the Google that's in the house and we'll go into the house dancing, and it drives my parents crazy, and it's my favorite thing in the world. They always know when we're ahead.
We have a karaoke machine. So we used to do this, and we need to start doing it again. But we do karaoke nights too.
Nice.
And we just sing and dance.
It's
And
just a
that's
musical
great.
family. Like, I would just want to go and like watch.
I know, right? I was like,
Right?
let's all do a karaoke.
Do like a Milburn,
Karaoke
like
party.
private concert.
she only wants to sing with Dad. Spoiler alert.
Aw.
Ever.
That's the right
Yeah.
thing.
I just love how like this episode is supposed to be how our kids drive us crazy. It's turned to like, oh, we love our kids.
Oh, no, they still drive me crazy.
We love it.
There's a reason why she's busy every single week. Charlie, when she is not busy, like, is, oh my gosh. Well, she's gotten into this, like, what's next, what are we doing now? And I'm like, enjoy the moment, like, live in the present, like, really enjoy this moment. Like, she did it last week on vacation. She was like, "What are we doing next week?" And I was like, "Why are you asking? I'm back at work next week. I don't want to think about next week. I want to enjoy the fact that I have sand in my toes right now. Like, stop asking
Yeah.
me." So it's like, so I'm trying to get her out of this habit of constantly like, what's next? Really enjoy the moment that you're in. Really cherish like the memories that you're making right now. You never know like what's going to happen next. So like, let's just enjoy what's happening now. I don't think we'll have a big problem with it. We actually have family coming into town, which we just found out while we're on vacation. Where my cousin and his fiance are coming in on Saturday from England, and they're going to be with us for a couple of weeks. So she has a new audience, so she won't drive me crazy.
So one last thing that we do that is pretty new to the summer is she's been liking to take extended drives when I run errands to go do something,
Oh,
and
nice.
like come with me. So that it's really only because I let her watch a couple social media
on the drive.
channels on the drive that she really likes that are
That's
probably
funny.
highly inappropriate for a 10-year-old to be
Oh,
watching.
man.
Okay, we
Well, that
listen
made me
to
think of, like-
TPD.
So we do one more thing too that like Addie loves to go on the golf cart. We go and get lost. We go like get lost and try to find our way back. Yeah,
you have
that
that
is
app
cute.
though, just in case you're.
I don't know. We really do get lost. And we really do find our way back.
I purposely downloaded the Navigate app for this
Oh.
area after I got lost that one time. And like I had a traumatic moment. I was like,
Well,
it's
you
still
know-
on my phone. I don't even have it all.
Have you ever guys played two rights and a left? I think we might do that. Where like you turn right, and you turn left. Right, left.
Oh
And, like, find your way back. Yeah.
I
For
feel
how
like
long do you do
have
it?
a lot less trauma than I do in this.
As long as
I'm like, what?
This
This is awful. I can't do a main like. So do you like those corn mazes and like labyrinths and everything?
I usually cheat.
They
like eventually,
freak me
like I
out.
walk straight through it.
I can't do an escape room. I can't do a maze or labyrinth. Like I need to have
I
an
like an
immediate
escape
escape route. Like I need to have like an escape route that I can see clearly
Yeah.
and know exactly how to get out. Like I will be the one pounding my fist on the
I've
on the
never been to
door.
an escape room. But I do feel like getting lost like a new city or whatever. It's like the
I
best
feel like
way
you'd
to
like an escape room
find
because
your
it's just like figuring out the
yeah, I do like problem solving. Yeah.
My sister suggested doing an escape room once, and I was like, "Are you serious? Were you not raised in the same
I
family?"
feel like, is there a
was
window?
raised in?"
If there's not a window, I'm gonna be like,
I'm like, we are the most
Get me
competitive
out.
family on the planet. I am banned from playing Monopoly with my family. Like, we are so competitive.
I got that for a while.
and arguing, and I was like, "There's no we wouldn't be a family anymore if we did an escape room together. You would be divorced. Both of you would be divorced. Mom and Dad would probably be on the edge of divorce. They'd make it through, but like they'd be close.
right.
I zone myself from the entire family. Be like, is it too late? What is when you can like separate yourself from your family when you're younger? What is that called?
Oh.
Drew Barrymore did it.
Yeah, I would do that
Did she?
as a 38-year-old
in a movie.
Oh, no.
No, she did it in real life.
She did it in real life
yeah,
too.
because
Okay,
her mom
she
was,
did it in a movie too.
Her mom was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So she did it in real life.
Emancipate.
Emancipate. I would emancipate myself from my family at 38 years old. I don't think you can believe it. I don't think it's
Right.
I think that's just
Already,
leaving.
You're already, yeah.
My dad would be like, thank God. Like, you're finally moving out of the house.
Maybe like
Great.
say it that way. Like, go ahead and be like, I emancipate. And like, just later on,
My dad would be like, I've been trying to get you to move out of the house for a decade. Like, all it took was an escape room to get you to move out. Should have done this a decade ago. Figure this whole stuff out. My dad loves me really, I promise.
So let us know what your favorite things are to do with your kids in the summer because we could really use tips.
Yeah. Suggestions. Or if you want to hang out, if you're in the local area and you want to hang out with us.
Yeah.
We're fun.
Podcasts that you listen to. I'll share my kids' playlist that I have for my kids' classes with everybody with some music for the summer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Some of my favorite artists there. Anyway, thanks guys. Have a great summer.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Messy Christian Mamas. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time, embrace the mess, share the love, and shine your light bright, my friends.